Hello everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another banger here on the iTito channel. It's been a while since I've been uploading some content, but I got a whole storm of it that should be coming over the next couple days. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, lots more videos. Getting back in the swing of it, but I thought I'd come in today with another story time video. I enjoyed making the last one, so I thought we'd make another one today. So yeah, let's just jump right into the story, jump into the topic. If you do enjoy the video, hit a little like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Only takes a second, and it helps the channel tremendously, so thank you. Without further ado, let's jump right into the story. So the story we're going to be talking about today is the story of the strongest weed I ever smoked in my whole life. So this story took place about 3 years and 3 days ago. Actually, exactly 3 years and 3 days ago on June 6th, 2022. And it was, it was a regular day, just a normal day. I think I went to work or something. I don't remember the exact specifics, but I do remember I got done with my responsibilities for the day. And I wanted to hang out with some friends, but everybody was busy. I remember, I get on my phone. At the time, I used Snapchat probably. So, I was hitting all my friends up on Snapchat, seeing what's going on, seeing what the move is, seeing who can chill, who has smoke, and nothing. Completely dead. There's absolutely nothing going on. There's no functions. There's no smoke. It's it's the end of the day. Everyone's winding down. So I go back home after work or whatever, and I'm hanging out. And at this point in my life, I was really broke. I've always been really broke. I'm still currently even more broke. But back then, I thought I was broke. And at the moment, I was in between paychecks. I didn't have any money for weed, like none at all. And I remember I was fiending super hard. I've got better about it a little bit as I got older, but especially when I was younger, I would fiend so hard for weed. I'd get I needed some weed, all the time. And so, I'm it gets later and later. At this point in the story, it's probably like 8 p.m. ish, 8:30, something like that. And I really want to smoke. I really want to get high, man. But I don't have anything at all. All of my pens are dry. They taste like metal. Taste like they're straight working at the robot Tesla factory. Like, it was bad, All my dab containers were empty. You couldn't even scrape anything. You could nectar the container straight up. You got nothing. I had no bud. I was completely dry. And so I reach out to my one true good friend, my friend Dan. So I hit Dan up. I'm like, yo, Dan, listen, I don't have any money right now, but I really want to smoke, man. I'm really trying to smoke. What you got for me? He's like, let me see what I got. And so Dan hits me back. He's like, yo, I got you. I can slide you a little nug of weed. I'm like, oh, I appreciate you. I don't have any money. He's like, no worries, man. I'm like, hey, thank you. Good looks. And so he tells me he'll be by in 20, 30 minutes. He pulls up 20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, yo, what's good, Dan? I walk outside the house. I go talk to him. I'm like, what's going on? Talks to me a little bit. And he slaps this nug in my hand. It's just one nug. It was a fat nug. I was looking while preparing to film this video. I was looking and I found a video of it. So I'll put it on the screen right here. This is the exact nug that I'm talking about in this story. This is the one that knocked me on my ass. This is the nug right here with some really good stuff. So I'm talking to Danny. He slides me the nug. He throws it in my hand. I'm like, hey, good looking, man. He's like, hey, no worries. Just get me back when you can, We'll match, smoke together, that kind of thing. I'm like, hey, appreciate you. Trying to smoke? He's like, no, I gotta go. Got some place to be. Got work tomorrow. Gotta bounce. So I'm like, all right, thanks. Appreciate you, Dan. You give him a little dap up. Dan bounces out. Dan is gone. I go back inside. I'm excited. I'm hyped. If you looked at the screen when I showed the video there, the weed was purple and beautiful. It had these crystals all over it. At this time in my life, this was probably like the best weed I'd ever seen. I asked him what it was testing at. He sent me a picture of the package it came out of that he got at the dispo. The package said 33.6%. I know they kind of fibbed those numbers, so I really don't know how close that is, but that's what it said, 33%. So I'm hype. I like, at that point, I believe I went and showered. I started to wind down for the night, and then after my shower, I got ready to smoke. I remember I was in my robe. I go out into my garage. My parents weren't happy about me smoking, but after years of fighting about it, we came to an agreement where I would just go smoke in the garage or outside, and it's no big deal. They still weren't happy about it, but you got to pick your battles. So I go out in the garage. I have a bong. I put some fresh water in the bong. I'm excited as hell. I take this nug and I hand grind it. I'm a hand grinder. I much prefer to I have grinders. I much prefer to hand grind it. The weed lasts longer. It tastes better. You get to keep the keef on there. That's just my personal opinion. But so I grind myself up this fat bowl, this giant bowl. An important thing to mention that I forgot to mention is that when Dan gave me this nug, he was like, be careful. This is some of the strongest shit I've ever smoked. It will knock you on your ass. That's what he said. And I was like, okay, bro, okay, yeah. Back when because this was when I was like, I was a kid. I thought I knew everything. I thought I was like, I can smoke the strongest weed in the world. I can smoke it all day long. I'm the champ. Little did I know. But I disregard Dan's warning. I throw it to the side. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck does he know? He doesn't know anything. I'm the champ. So I pack this giant bowl up of the bong, and I put it in the bong. This bowl, it's huge. It's packed to the brim. Like I probably put the majority of this nug in there. This huge bowl. And I remember I was watching on my iPad. I was watching the Joe Rogan Elon Musk podcast. How funny how that's aged. But I was watching that podcast. It had like just come out, like, I don't know, around that time, maybe before, but I was watching it. I just put it on when I hit the bowl. So I clicked play on the podcast. It was probably like 2-3 minutes in, something like that. And I get this bowl ready. It's in my bong. It smells amazing. My fingers are coated in the little THC crystals from this nug. It's unbelievable. And so, just like that, I'm ready. I exhale, full breath out, and then I light it. I go to town. I take a lighter. It was full of butane. I remember I filled up the lighter right before. And I just torch this bowl, man. I prefer not to use actual torches on my bowls, but I just like straight vertical the lighter. I'm just dumping butane, dumping fire on it. The whole bowl goes up in flames. And I'm ripping, and I'm ripping, and I'm ripping. And this was years before my lungs have taken all the damage they have now. I cannot take a rip like this nowadays. I simply couldn't. I don't have the lung capacity. But I'm ripping, and I managed to clear this whole bowl, this whole thing. And I'm standing up, mind you. So I'm standing at like the workbench with my iPad sitting there. I'm smoking. I managed to smoke the whole bowl, snap it through in one go. And I'm standing there and I'm like, damn, this tastes immaculate. And that is my last memory. I remember I took this massive rip, set the bong down, and I was like, damn, that tastes amazing. And the very next thing I know, the next memory I have, the next blip of consciousness, is I wake up on the floor of the garage, the back of my head throbbing. It hurt so bad. And the iPad playing in the background. My lighter is still in my hand. And I am just fucking crumpled on the floor of the garage. My head hurts so bad. I remember I stand up, I like kind of stumble up. I'm like grabbing the back of my head, looking around. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I'm like incredibly stoned from this amazing weed, not to mention the probably minor concussion I just gave myself. And so I'm like looking around, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I tap my iPad to look at the time. And the podcast was like 47 minutes in. I was laying on that garage floor for like 40 minutes. Damn near a full hour. This weed was so good that one bowl, in all fairness, it was a giant bowl, and I took it all in one hit. But this was back in the day when I had like a real tolerance, like a way, like if I were to smoke now, these days, like I used to smoke back then, I'd be scared. I'd be like scared and hungry and tired, I'd be like falling asleep. Back then I used to smoke so much all the time. And this weed, it was something special about it, man. It was that Netherland weed. It was up from Netherland, fucking 33%. Hey, the guy who gave it to me, he gave me the warning. He told me, be careful with this. It's gonna knock you on your ass. And I was like, what does this guy know? He knew. I should have listened to him, because Dan is like one of the only people I've ever met in my life that smokes more weed than I do. But I remember it so clearly. I wake up laying on the floor of my garage. I'm staring up at the ceiling, and I'm just so confused. My head hurts so bad, and I'm like, what happened? Like, was I sleeping? Did I just wake up? What's going on? At that point, I remember I was just fucking so high. I think I went and crushed probably 3 bowls of cereal, and then went and slept for 12 hours. Yeah, I remember that day very well. It was a good time. It was a whole bunch of fun. I do remember the high that the bowl gave me was extraordinary. It was so amazing that it completely just wiped over the headache that I had from smashing my head. It was just some indica. I mean, as you could tell by the purples you see there. I don't remember the strain. I really wish I remembered the strain, but I don't. But yeah. So that was the story of the strongest weed I ever smoked. It's some really, really good shit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. That was this story. If you enjoy these story videos, let me know. You know, I got lots more stories. I think I'm just gonna keep making these anyway. But I was gonna tell this story a couple days ago, but I didn't get a chance to really sit down and think through the details until today. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed. This has been the story of the strongest weed I ever smoked. Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to stay happy, stay healthy, stay hydrated, my friends. And until next time, peace out, y'all.